हरे कृष्णा हरे कृष्णा हरे कृष्णा। हम लोगों का बहुत सौभाग्य है, हमारे बीच में डायरेक्ट श्रील प्रभुपाद के डिसाइपल है हमारे साथ, और also we have Arthabandhu Das Prabhuji assisting and serving His Grace Deenabandhu Prabhuji. A small introduction. First and foremost, as our Balaramdesh routine, we'll have to welcome His Grace Deenabandhu Prabhuji with chanting Hare Krishna Maha Mantra one time. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Before we commence the discourse, hear the nectar discourse from Prabhuji, we have a brief introduction. His Grace Deenabandhu Prabhuji is born in Los Angeles, California in USA. He joined Krishna Consciousness movement in Boulder, Colorado in 1969. He first met Srila Prabhupada in 1970 in Los Angeles, where he got initiated. He opened the first temple in Dallas, Texas. He was the president of Portland Temple from 1972 to 1978. 1980, he moved to Colombia and he preached Spanish. 1984, Prabhuji moved to Vrindavan. 1986, he was appointed the president of Krishna Balaram Temple for 3 years and 3 months. Around 1988, Baba Madhav Das approached him to take over the restoration project of Vrindakunda. He started taking people out on parikrama since he was the president. In 2003, a beautiful carved stone temple of Srimati Vrindadevi was inaugurated in Vrindakunda, which His Grace Deenabandhu Prabhu maintained for 30 years. Among other various other significant projects in Vrindavan, His Grace Deenabandhu Prabhu has helped in restoring the Samadhi Mandir, that is the burial chamber of the great saint Srila Sanatan Goswami. He has also been an active supporter to restore the sacred river Yamuna in Vrindavan. Whoever he comes across, he humbly invites them to Vrindavan and have darshan of all the holy places. Hare Krishna, this is a brief introduction of Prabhuji. Without not taking much of the time, we would again humbly request the devotees to chant one time Hare Krishna Maha Mantra so that our heart is purified and we can hear Vrindavan pastimes from Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Also, as a customary request, kindly switch off your mobiles or keep it in silent mode. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. So it's a very great ecstasy for me to be back here in Balaramdesh after a very long time, from the time of Satya Harinam and Malati. So we're very, very honored and very happy to be here with all the wonderful devotees of Balaramdesh, and to be here at the lotus feet of Sri Gornitai and Krishna Balaram and Radha Balarameshwar. So just a few days before, we were celebrating Balaram Purnima. So I thought I'd dedicate today, speak a little bit about Lord Balaram. With the pleasure of all of the gathered Vaishnavas. Om Agyana Timirandasya Gananjana Shalakaya Chaksurun Militam Jena Tasmai Sri Gurave Nama Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Sayam Rupa Kadamayam Sudati Svapadandigam Aradhanastrinandan Tairidam Yache Puna Puna Srimad Rupa Padambujo Dulisyam Janma Janmani Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhaktivedanta. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Panchakalpatrubhyascha kripasindu vevacha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. So to begin, we'll start with a very beautiful ancient Braj bhajan that probably everybody knows, in which Balaram's name comes as Dauji, because we all know Dauji means the older brother. Kanhaiya is the younger brother, and Dauji is the older brother. So maybe somebody can play the kartals, because I need my hands. Par karenge naiya re bajo Krishna Kanhaiya. Par karenge. Naiya re bajo Krishna Kanhaiya. So for those who don't know Brijbhasa, par means to cross. We're going to cross over this ocean of material existence. Naya means the boatman, and favorable breezes are Krishna Kanhaiya. So by singing the name of Krishna Kanhaiya, our boatman will take us across this ocean of material existence. Par karenge naiya re bajo Krishna Kanhaiya. Par karenge naiya re bajo Krishna Kanhaiya. Krishna Kanhaiya Dauji Kabaiya. Krishna Kanhaiya, Krishna Kanhaiya Dauji Kabaiya. Krishna Kanhaiya Dauji Kabaiya. Par karenge naiya re bajo Krishna Kanhaiya. Par karenge par karenge naiya re bajo Krishna Kanhaiya. Krishna Kanhaiya Dauji Kabaiya. Krishna Kanhaiya Dauji Kabaiya. Bansuri Bajaiya. Bansuri Bajaiya. Bakana Churaiya. Makana Churaiya. Gaya Charaiya. Gaya Charaiya. Giri Barutaiya. Giri Barutaiya. Rasarataiya. Rasarataiya. पार करेंगे नैया रे बजो कृष्ण कन्हैया Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Haribol, 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 Gaur Haribol. Jaya Jai Prabhupada, 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 Jai Prabhupada. Bolo Krishna Kanhaiya Lal Ki. Bolo Sri Dhauji Maharaj Ki Jai. So a few days before, everybody put your devices on silent, otherwise the babies cry in the middle. A few days before we were celebrating Balaram Purnima, the appearance day of Sri Balaram. So we'd like to say a few things in glorification of Sri Baladev Prabhu. First of all, we should know that this celebration comes on the Shravan Purnima, or the, according to our Vaishnava, called Sridhar Purnima, the month of Sridhar, Shravan Purnima. And Srila Bhaktisiddhanta has very carefully written an article explaining that we can't say Balaram Jayanti. Because Jayanti, and he quotes many scriptures, refers to that particular configuration of the stars when the moon is in Rohini Nakshatra, and it's the 8th day of the dark half of the month of Bhadra. So that is Jayanti. Now it's become fashion that everybody, we got narrow Jayanti, this Jayanti, that every Jayanti, but Jayanti refers to that particular configuration that comes on the Krishna Paksh Astami, Krishnastami day. So this is Balaram Purnima or Balaram Avirbhav, appearance day of Balaram. And all the Gaudiya Vaishnavas were celebrating on this Shravan Purnima. Because that is according to Jiva Goswami and his Gopal Champu. He gives many evidences that Balaram appeared on the Shravan Purnima. But you'll see, if you stay in Braj, that on the 2 days before Radhastami, all over Braj they're celebrating Balaram's appearance. But Jiva Goswami gives many evidences to prove that it's actually on the Purnima day. Then 8 days later is Krishnastami, which we're going to celebrate in a few days now. So he gives many wonderful details there in Gopal Champu. And it's described that Devaki and Vasudeva, they were thrown in jail by this cruel Kans, and he killed their 6 children, one after another. So who were those 6 children? They were the sons of Marichi. And they were our dear friends that we love so much. Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Moh, Mad, and Matsarya. Lust, anger, greed, madness, and envy, and pride. Our very dear friends. We have to clean these things out of our heart in order for the Lord to appear in our hearts. So then 7th pregnancy, Krishna called Yogamaya, and first of all he addressed her, "Hey Badri," because he wanted to give her a very heavy duty. So he addressed her, "Hey Badri," because he's going to give her a very heavy duty. Because when Guru or spiritual master gives some order, he also gives the energy to carry out that order. So he's going to ask her that the 7th pregnancy of Devaki is none other than Mahasankarshan, Balaram. And she has to take this embryo and transfer it to the womb of Rohini, who was kept in Braj for protection from Kams. And we know Sankarshan, he carries all the universes on his head. All the planets on his head. She has to carry somebody like that all the way across the Jamuna to Rohini. This is a very heavy duty. So the Lord says, "Hey Badri, don't worry, I will give you the energy to do this." And because Akarshan, he'll be attracted to the womb of Rohini, his name will be Sankarshan. And he will give pleasure to all his family members. He'll be known as Ram. And he will be very strong, so his name will be Balabhadra. So Radha Govinda Maharaj, one time, he explained to us that there's one great Vaishnava named Hari Suri, and he's explained in his commentary that we see here that Krishna is giving all the names of Balaram. But we've heard that Balaram is the older brother. So he gave all the names because we may get some doubt. If Balaram is older brother, then maybe he's before Krishna. So he's the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, but we see that when a child gets his name, it's always some older person who gives. At least the grandmother, grandfather, uncle, auntie, at least mother and father. Some barist personality gives the names. So Krishna gave all the names, so we won't get confused. Who's the actual Ite Chanta Kalapun? So Krishna's tu Bhagavan. So Balaram is the original expansion. First expansion, rather. And on this Shravan Purnima, he stayed for many, many months within the womb of Rohini, and finally on Shravan Purnima he appeared, but he didn't cry or move around. Just like as soon as baby appears, immediately first thing they do is cry. Everyone else is very happy. The father is very happy. He's distributing sweets to everybody. Everybody very joyful. But if we interview the child what he thought about the event, we don't remember that this was one of the miseries of material existence, having to take birth. But Dauji, he was just like inert, just like Jud Bharat. He was just Jud, like this. And whenever Yasoda, who by the way, this is according to Gopal Champu, Krishna was already within her womb. That was Vasudeva Krishna, who was in Devaki's womb. Then when he's on Yasoda's lap, he becomes very lively, because he's just near Kanaya. And when he goes away, and then after Krishna's Janmashtami, after Krishna's birth, then Dauji becomes very animated like that. So these are some interesting details we find from Gopal Champu. And we were doing a lot of research for our latest book about Govardhan. And we found some very wonderful pastimes with Balaram and Govardhan. Because just after Kusum Sarovar, if you know where to look, there's a little road that goes inside the bushes, inside the jungle. And then suddenly, that's where you'll see Govardhan just starting to appear. You'll see some rocks coming out of the ground. And just before you get there, you turn right, and you come to a very beautiful forest called Shamban, and a place called Ratna Singhasan. And there, Krishna and Balaram, they were on the Gaur Purnima night, we also call Holy Purnima, around April time, Holy Purnima, March and April, springtime. So it was evening time, and Krishna and Balaram were enjoying playing Holi with their respective gopis. Krishna has his gopis and Balaram has his gopis. So they were, the atmosphere was very nice. The full moon was there. It was Holy Purnima. Full moon was there. The birds were singing very sweetly. The bumblebees were buzzing. The full moon was casting very beautiful shadows all over the forest floor. Very strange and intricate shadows were being cast. Very wonderful atmosphere. They began to play. And as described, Balaram, he had one earring in his right ear that was shining on his, dancing on his cheek. And he was just like that full moon, and he had a blue chadar hanging off his shoulder. So the blue moon coming out of the clouds. He looked like that. And his gopis were singing, and Balaram was throwing colors on them. They were throwing colors on Balaram. And they went off dancing through the forest. And Krishna was playing with his gopis. They're throwing kumkum at each other. And gopis were singing, but Krishna defeated their singing by playing on his flute. He defeated the pride of the gopis with his beautiful flute playing. And they wandered through the forest, having wonderful time together. Somehow or other, both of the groups met. Balaram had been drinking too much bruni. We know this special honey wine that Balaram drinks. So his eyes were rolling, and like a drunken elephant, he came into the same area where Krishna and his gopis were playing. And then Balaram, he attacked all of Krishna's gopis, and they all ran away. And then Krishna, he made a wink at the cowboys, and they all attacked Balaram's gopis, who also fled. Then the gopas, they turned around and they attacked Balaram and covered him with colors. And Balaram grabbed them with his strong arms and squeezed them. But somehow or other they slipped out of his arms, and then they began to pelt him with red kumkum. Till Krishna said, wait a minute, but don't gang up on my brother like this. You hold it. And beautiful description is there of Balaram. It says he appeared just like a pillar of ice reflecting the red sky of the morning sun, where he appeared like a mountain of white lotuses covered with pink lotus flowers, where he appeared like a white crystal pillar reflecting red hibiscus flowers. So many beautiful descriptions are there of Balaram. And then he began, and seeing Balaram so beautiful like that, all his gopis came and began to dance, and they went off in another way, and Krishna's gopis went off in another way. And suddenly, one evil associate of Kuvera, whose name was Sankachuda, he appeared on the scene. He had been a guard of Kuvera, but he had become corrupted and became a demon, And he was thinking that who are these two little cowherd boys with all these beautiful girls? They deserve some big mighty warrior like me. So he took a big stick and began to chase all of the gopis. And they all began crying, "Oh Krishna, oh Balaram, save us, save us." Hearing their crying, Krishna and Balaram grabbed the trunks of two trees and began chasing him. And Shankachuta immediately left the gopis and began to run for his life, seeing that Krishna and Balaram were approaching him like death personified. And then Krishna told Balaram, "You stay and protect all of the gopis." So Balaram took all the gopis back, and Krishna running faster than the wind. So fast it appeared like his feet were not even touching the ground. And that poor demon was running for fear of his life. He couldn't run so fast. And Krishna, although he was far away, within a short time, Krishna appeared there on the scene. And this demon had a very shining jewel on his turban. Very amazing, very wonderful craftsman, beautifully carved. It was shining like the sun. This jewel was known as Shamantaka. Shamantaka jewel. And Krishna wanted that jewel. So then he thought that to take it from a dead body will not be very auspicious. So Krishna whirled his hand around and smashed him in the head so hard that the jewel fell off. The jewel fell to the ground. And Krishna picked up that jewel and brought it back. And all the gopis saw Krishna with this beautiful jewel. And everyone was thinking, "Oh, he's going to give it to me. Oh, he's going to give it to me. Oh, he's going to give it to me." And then Krishna, to avoid any rivalry among the gopis, he gave that Shamantaka jewel to Balaram. Balaram later, he gave this jewel to Madhumangal, and he told him specifically, "You give this in the hand of Srimati Radharani." Because Baladevi always favors Srimati Radharani. So this beautiful pastime. Part of it is described in Srimad Bhagavatam, and some of these details are coming from Ananda Vrindavan Champu of Kavi Karnapur. And sometimes we see Balaram with a big club, like a Hanuman club. But actually Balaram's weapon, at least in Braj, because he knows how to play that club, he taught Duryodhana how to fight with the club. But his actual weapon is called a mussel. Now we don't have any word in English for this thing, because English is very bad for transcendental technology. For other technology, it's good, but for transcendental technology, useless. So a mussel is something looks almost like a pregnant baseball bat, very big and heavy and rounded at the bottom. It's just like a baseball bat, and it's got a little small space where you put your hand. And then you make a nice clay depression in the ground, and you put the rice there, and bam, bam, bam. With this mushel, you knock the husk off, because the husk is useless. Useless means anart. So this is Balaram's duty, to smash all of our anarts, because we want to get that rice. That is the real thing. This anart is useless. So Balaram's actual weapon is this mushel, which he uses to get rid. He's the Adi Guru, because that is Guru's business, to get all of the anartas out of our heart and make a nice place for Krishna to come there. So this is our Balaram's duty, like that. And one of the other demons that Balaram smashes is one time the cowherd boys, they came near the Talavan forest. They were coming from Govardhan. And cowherd boys, or Bisbrazi children in general, 24 hours a day they're hungry. So the breeze was blowing, and they were smelling the wonderful fragrance of tal fruits coming from Talavan. So living in Braj, I've seen that in the summertime, the wind is blowing from the west. We call it the Lu. You've all heard of the Lu, huh? So, but in the rainy season, the wind comes from the east. So they were coming from Govardhan, which is east of, west of Talavan, but the wind was coming from the east, so they could smell these tal fruits. I was speculating they must have come from that side. And then Vishwanath Chakravarti in his Tika, he explains how the wind was blowing from the east, so the Kahar boys were smelling. So my speculation was right. I was speculated it must have been like that. They were coming from Govardhan side. And they wanted to taste those fruits. But these fruits were being protected by a great big demon associate of Kamsa named Dhenukasura. And Dhenuka, he was his original name is Sahasik. He was a descendant of Prahlad Maharaj, named Sahasik. And one time he was sitting before Brihaspati, his guru, with his feet sticking out, the bottom of his feet pointing at the guru. Now we never want to sit like this. Just like you've heard the old japa tape, sit properly. And that God brother of mine, he's living in Vrindavan now. He was the one that Prabhupada said that to. One nice devotee is there named Gopal. So Brihaspati became angry, said, "You're sitting here like an ass, so you become an ass." And then he begged, he fell at Brihaspati's feet. He said, "Yes, you will become an ass, but when Lord Balaram comes, he will save you. He will liberate you from this curse." So this ass demon was there with all his ass friends, and they were protecting those fruits and delivering them King comes, and they never let any Vaishnava or Brihspasi ever taste those fruits. Now, one of the other benedictions that Prahlad Maharaj had taken from Lord Nrsingadev is that anybody coming in our vans, you should not kill them. So Krishna can't kill Dhenukasura. So he winked at Baladev. So Baladev, he went over and he began to shake that tal tree. Now if you go to Talavan, there's only about 2 or 3 tal trees there, those called Talavan. There's not a forest anymore. Especially right in the courtyard of the temple, there's a big tall one. And I've pushed it with all my might. I can't even move it a millimeter. But Baladev, he went there, he grabbed that tree and he shook it like this. And all the tal fruits went thud, 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 thud. So you see the donkeys, they have big long ears, So he heard all this noise. So he began running there, singing his very beautiful poetry. E-ah, e-ah, e-ah. And then he charged at Balaram and began to kick him with his rear legs. Again, he turned his back to a great personality. So Balaram grabbed his legs and swung him around and around and around and around, and his life air went flying out of his body, and he threw him in the top of a tall tree. He hit that tall tree, it fell over, hit another tall tree, that one fell over, hit another one, that one fell over, hit another one, like this, ping, 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 all through the forest. Then all his donkey associates came running. Now Krishna can get in the act. So both Krishna and Balaram, they were throwing donkeys this way and that way, and it looked like, because some of them were gray, some of them were white, some of them were blackish, it looked like so many different colored clouds in the tops of all of the tall trees there. So it was a big mess that day, but it's rainy season, so after 2 days or 3 days, first the Pulindas who were living in the forest, they took all those tal fruits. But after a little while, The rain washed all the contamination away, and the cowherd boys used to come there and enjoy tal fruits to their full satisfaction. One time, we took a prikrama there just before Kartik, because the tal fruits, the tall trees, the fruit comes in the rainy season, so Kartik is the end of the rainy season. By that time, they're ripe. And there just happened to be 1 or 2 tal fruits left in the tree. So the Mahant, what was his name that time? I can't remember. Prem something, I can't remember. He immediately had one of his disciples run up to the tree, get those tal fruits, and squeeze out the juice, and everyone began dumping out their bishlahari, and taking all this nice tal fruit juice, and devotees were enjoying like anything. So these are some of the wonderful pastimes of Balaram. Because this demon, Dhenukasura, he represents this foolish ass mentality of work hard and enjoy hard. This is the motto of the Americans: work hard and enjoy hard. Because the ass, he's carrying heavy loads. We read about these things, but we go to Vrindavan, you can see all these things. They're carrying bricks, they're carrying sand, they're carrying piles and piles of laundry. And they're so foolish, they're thinking that if I don't do this work, then how am I going to eat grass? And they're walking in front, between both sides of the road is grass. But they're thinking, oh, unless I work hard, how will I enjoy grass? So this foolish ass-like mentality, this is the Guru's business, therefore Balaram kills it, because this is Guru's business to knock out this foolish ass-like mentality in our hearts, that we're this material body and our business to satisfy this body. We have to get this out of our brains, that our business is to serve Krishna and Balaram. And you have such beautiful Krishna and Balaram here to serve. And I see all the devotees here doing service, and they're all looking very, very happy. Bolo Sri Dhaoji Maharaj Ki Jai. Hare Krishna. So we'll put our voice to rest here, because we understand there's a wonderful play to play is there. You want to say something about my book? Right. Well, he knows everything, so he...
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So we thank Prabhuji, His Grace Deenabandhu Prabhuji, for such a wonderful class by chanting one time Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama.